I am not one who believes in speaking blue. Okay? I watch sometimes Joe Rogan, who, by the way, if you believe this $250 million deal, if you believe that's the number, you're out of your mind. I have no respect for you, but I know you're smarter than that. You know it's nonsense. But it sounds good, right? Doesn't it sound good? And I think it's terrific. Hope if he gets half that, a third of that, who cares? Because he's the new thing. In any event, sometimes they, I think, curse for the sake of cursing. I really do. I think they love the F word. And like I said, I tend not to work blue. However, I make one exception. To me, the greatest word of all time, my most prolific word is shit. Pardon me, excuse me. I don't even think it's bad anymore. There was this terrible case of this crash in Florida, and they listened to the cocktail voice recorder. And if I read correctly, I think one of the phrases or one of the things, the last words, what comes to mind whenever there's something that goes wrong, you say, "Oh shit," that because that's what people do when they hit their toe. That it's a word that is so reflexive. It's so part of our Pavlovian reaction. This nonsense about Oppenheimer, which is fictional. The whole story is fictional. But where he says, I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Remember that story? That's not what he said when he saw the bomb detonate for the first time. You know, and I know, he said, holy shit, did you? God, boom. Imagine you've never seen this before. And he quotes Vishnu? Come on, man. You've got to be kidding me. I am become death. Interesting phraseology. So the other day we were watching this and they had this terrible story. You saw this. Why it was interesting, I don't know. Kansas City Chiefs fans found dead. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. They were found outside, they froze, and Mrs. L and I are looking at each other, and she says, fentanyl. By the way, not fentanyl, fentanyl. It's like, no shit. So, Fox News, which is so bad right now, it is so bad. They have a young man who does their morning show who takes as many letters off of words as are possible. Pretty soon, you're not going to be hearing anything. The United States, the resident of the United States Attorney General, A's are missing, S's are missing. They're just gone. Pretty soon, he's going to be making that West African clicking sound or some weird Australian. I don't know what it is, but they were doing this thing today. Let's go to our dear friend Michael Biden, who is known him for years. Um, I think they may have not uh, wished to be a part of Mrs. L and me anymore because maybe again they perhaps maybe perceive my politics as being whatever it is. So he gets up there and he's now this is one of the most, if not the most, this is the preeminent forensic pathologist of all time, not just current, but I mean of all time. And he gets up and he says, "Well, when you take drugs sometimes and if you pass out and it's freezing, you can pass out, maybe die." I'm thinking, dear God, no shit. I mean, I could have told you that and I don't know anything. Well, sure enough, that's what it was. Yep, and it's sad. It's sad. Initial toxicology reports of the 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans found frozen and dead. Do you know how out of it you have to be? I mean, this is overdose time to not wake up. Your heart drops. If your temperature goes like 80 degrees from 90, I mean, but they were found dead in a friend's yard. Have you seen this house? The yard is not like some 10-acre expanse where you could, no, it's like right there. Nobody looked because he was out of it too. They found cocaine, THC, and 3 times the amount of fentanyl. Please, children, do not say fentanyl. Do me a favor. Fentanyl, NYL, fentanyl. 3 times enough to kill, according to records. Reports, rather. The families of David Harrington, Clayton McGinney, and Ricky Johnson, who were found dead outside their friend Jordan Willis's Kansas City home, confirmed to WDAF that police have the initial reports on illicit drugs in the men's system. Quote, a family member who asked to remain anonymous tells this individual that cocaine, fentanyl, and THC showed up in the preliminary results. The family source said they had 10 that says level 10 fentanyl is enough to kill. They had level 30. He later added that the information was backed up and confirmed by a separate family source. Kansas City police have confirmed that they have been in touch with the families. There have been no additional details of this case revealed to any media. This is that. Drug use has been speculated as a contributing factor in the men's death. Contributing factor? Contributing factor? How about a factor? Look at this home. Look at where were they? Anyway. Now, here is the deal. And it's very, very sad. These young men who died. But can we please speak as adults? Do you mind if I speak as an adult? Do you? Do you mind if I speak as an adult? Do you mind if I talk to you and if I can say something, not worried about what people are going to say? But can we? Okay. There should be something on TV that says, if you use drugs from anyone, and I don't care if you say, well, we got some blow from so and so, and he took some of that batch, and he was no, 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 no. If you take, they're cutting now cocaine, as you know, with fentanyl. Used to be heroin. This is wild. Fentanyl. It's not another thing too. It's not fentanyl. It's Chinese fentanyl. Would you please? Yeah, it's poison. It's not fentanyl. It's you might as well call it rat poison. Can I ask you something? If these men, and I know it's sad, and I know that their families miss them, and they were probably good guys, and they just want to have fun, and they're not hurting anybody except themselves. But do you not read the news? I'll bet you they knew more about the Kansas City Chiefs, about records, about players, about the rules of the game. I'll bet you they knew more about that than in the fact that any moron who knows any of what's happening in this country, that there was this proliferation. They found somebody the other day with 500 pounds of fentanyl just today or whatever it is. Why are grown men doing drugs and cocaine? May I also ask this? What do you think this is? I mean, what do you do? There is this thing that happens when I find myself thinking, you'll hear of somebody who will go out on some, there'll be some mountaineer, somebody who goes out and they climb mountains. Like, oh, that's great. They're climbing mountains. Yeah, it's great. They're climbing mountains. And they go out and they climb the mountains and then they get stuck. And they got to send some poor helicopter guy out there. And as you know, when you try to fly a helicopter in air that's that thin, it doesn't work. Helicopters work great when they push against dense air. If the air is thin, they don't move as well. So you take some rescuer out with his Saint Bernard, with the vat of, or the cask of brandy or whatever it is, and they go out to this to find this adventurer who is so much of an adventurer he can't find his way back. He's not that good of an adventurer. He's okay, but he's not good. And then I think to myself, why are they doing this? These adventurers who go on, they say, we're gonna circumnavigate the world. Okay. If anything happens to you, if you're out there in the North Sea and something happens, okay. All righty. Okay. There should be every TV, every newspaper, everybody should volunteer, not be forced, but volunteer to say, do not do cocaine. There is no quality control. It's poison. It's not a drug. If I take something and I use strychnine or arsenic or cyanide, and I say, hey, I want to do some window pane. I want to do some ludes. Yeah, let me grind this up. This is ludes. I'm gonna make it into some rat poison, a little strychnine. There we go. Here, try this. It's a lude. It's a quaalude, a methaqualone. Try. And I know you're not supposed to say it's because they were sad and they had a family, but you're a damn fool today. And I don't understand any of this story. You didn't know where your friends were? Nobody went because you were so fucked up yourself. You didn't know. Listen, if you want drugs to be legalized, this is it. This is the problem. I don't think drugs should be. How many of you fine people believe that drugs should be illegal? So that you, if you are in possession of or found in possession of drugs, where you can be prosecuted. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? If you agree with it, press 1. If you don't agree with it, press 2. Do you think there should be laws against possession of drugs? Press 1 if you say yes, there should be laws prohibiting. Press 2 if you say no, there shouldn't be. We got yes, no. No. You know what I'm talking about. Drugs, heroin, meth, crank, whatever it is, hallucinogenics, not, tetracycline, things like that. You think drugs should be against the law. I think we got a new picture there. I think our den mother, Lizzie's got a new thumbnail. Looking mighty smart there, Missy. Looking mighty smart. You think there should be a law against this. And you think, and this is going to be, well, that's going to stop that. And also more revenue and less room in the jails for rapists and murderers and retail theft and burglars, because we got these druggies that we're putting in there. You can smoke cigarettes. You can drink yourself to death. You can sit around. By the way, these young men, it's sad to say, I don't think any of them cared about their own particular physical health. Just saying. Judging by their particular girth, it's not, I don't mean to blaspheme them. It is not the government's job to tell you what you can and can't do to your body, what you can and cannot take. Now, if you are in possession of poison fentanyl, let me ask you this question. If somebody has in the back of their truck 100 pounds of strychnine, cyanide, you think there should be a law against that? I think the law could be made that, you know what? That might be a good idea. That might be a good idea because that stuff is rat killer. That's rat poison. That's all that is. That'll just kill people. And if somebody gets a hold of that, but I'm thinking to myself, that's not even there's no personal consumption of rat poison. Nobody wants nobody's what? Rat poison? Rat? No. But yeah, believe it or not, in the old days, if you were found with strychnine on you, it didn't matter. Now, let me stop right now, my friends, because let me tell you that I'm not going to be on this eve because guess where I'm going to be. That's right. That's right. It's going to be at this place called the Cutting Room. It's called the Cutting Room, and it's right here tonight, 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. I'm going to be there at the Cutting Room, dear friends, at the Cutting Room. And now, this is the last time you will hear me say this because that's this evening and that's the way that goes. And I'm just telling you how that story is. And I have put for you the information, the link right here, if you would like to join us tonight at the Cutting Room. Rule number 1, it is your right to kill yourself. Rule number 2, the government has absolutely no right to tell you what you can and cannot use in your body. Number 3, as long as you're not doing anything that can affect someone else, driving under the influence, selling it to children, things like that, that is a different story. Or if you are selling it and it's not drugs, but it's 100% poison. If you are selling something, if you're saying, hey, I got some homemade Prosecco. I don't even know if that's against the law. I don't think so. Probably not. But guess what? It's not Prosecco. What it is I've got strychnine in there. I've got rat poison. And I know it. And I give it. They will bust me for that. Not because I'm selling wine, but because I'm giving them rat poison. Do you see how that works? And I know it's important. Never to blaspheme the dead. And there are people I know who have had family members of them die. It's tragic out of drug overdoses. But this is what's happening. If for whatever reason, you find yourself doing this, cocaine, today, I don't care where you live, I don't care what, you are asking for death. Let me say this again. Let me be very clear about this. You are asking for death, period. And if anything happens to you, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to, nobody. I mean, they'll say, oh, it's tragic, but nobody cares. They'll only want to have breaking news. You'll be a part of a breaking news story. Your families will grieve. Your life will be terminated. And you did it innocently. You just want to have fun. My God, to do a little blow, a little tootski, people say, a little, there was some folks used to call it Dwight. Hey, anybody seen Dwight? Anybody Holden? Miami Vice, Disco, the fingernail. Remember that stuff? Yeah. All right. Okay. Boogers and paralyzed throats and nervousness and jaw crunching. Ugh. A friend of mine said one time, he said, you know what the worst part about it is? What? He says, no. Do you know what the worst part about doing cocaine is? He had this look. I said, I don't know. What? He said, the birds. I said, the what? The birds. I said, what the hell are you talking about? He says, when the sun comes up in the morning and you hear the birds and you haven't slept and you got to go to work and you feel so bad. Oh my God. This should be a commercial. The birds. We don't hear birds anymore. Anybody here hear birds? Every now and then I hear one, maybe because it's cold now. We're not hearing any birds. But in the spring, I hope so. Because I mean, they make me feel happy. The birds. Look at this. Lisa says, just stay away from anything from the street. No, Lisa P.S. There's no such thing. No, it's everywhere. No, it's not on the street. Please, this is what will kill you. No, we want to, please don't give that advice out. Don't do it anywhere. Now, the only thing you can do is you can ask somebody, you can do it. You can show me, hey, Buzzy, let's see you do some of this first. No, you do some. Okay. There you go. How do you do? How do you like that? You okay? Okay. Let me have like food tasters. You know what I mean? You have somebody who comes along that you pay here, try this. If anything happens to you, oh, that's a bad batch. See what you did? Look at Toby there, my Coke tester. He's dead now. That's terrific. That's wonderful. Way to go. This is the weirdest thing. And I just, for some reason or another, they have always made, and I'm going to also say there's as an advocate of complete and total. Now, if you want to do that, you can. But you're now, essence, you're kind of like committing suicide. It's like Russian roulette. You don't know what you're going to get. And because you don't also don't know where your friend who gets it from you, did he get it on the street? We don't know. But what are we doing to preventing this? Nothing. Nobody does anything. This is the one. Someone writes, all the drugs are different. Weed's not even weed the same. Dangerous weed. You're right about that. The number of young people. I know one case in particular. Kid was a little off to begin with, but he had a psychotic episode from vaping weed constantly. THC in the old days was harmless, not anymore. Do you hear what I'm saying? There was a High Times magazine showed centerfolds of beautiful buds from California with THC, with rosin, like just sticking to the weed. It looked like it was beautiful just to see the pictures, the reds and the colors and the stems, and it's great. And the smell of a concert in the in the 70s. Remember that? Remember the concerts? The smell of that? It was a different kind of smelled good. Sometimes it was sweet. The stuff people are smoking now and ingestibles. Let me also tell you this much. I don't know why people. There's a guy on TV, on radio, and I like him a lot. His name is Joey Diaz. He used to be on with Joe Rogan. He talks like this. He's from New York. Actually, he's from Jersey, but he's a Cuban. He talks about doing blow, and he kind of romanticizes it a little bit, though. I think he's off the stuff now, and he's trying to. And he basically, why he's alive, I have no idea. The idea of people being paranoid. Paranoia. When something makes you paranoid, that should be a hint. That should be an indication. That should be an indicium that you are absolutely gone. Do you hear what I'm saying? That you're gone. Anytime something affects the fight or flight portions of your brain, where people are paranoid, this is another story. Look at this. Didn't they stop making Oxycontin because of the overdosing? I don't know about that. I think the problem they had in, well, no, it was interesting. They had Oxycontin. They stopped making it for a while, and then people would have to go to heroin. Have you spent, please tell me you've seen Kensington. Kensington in Philly. Have you seen this on YouTube? Because Trank is xylazine, or this is the one this is the killer. Trank, they're frozen. You're frozen. I've never seen, this is the most incredible. I saw this one time. It was early in the morning, coming back from the gym, right in the hood. And there was a girl. I took a picture of this. I'll never forget it. She was sitting there. She was barefoot, and she was like, I didn't know. I thought it was maybe like it was a candid camera-esque type of thing. I think, what is this? And people were by said, "Are you okay?" So finally, somebody called the, ambulance, and they came and she was just frozen. Somebody made a joke. I don't know who the comedian was. It was kind of funny that when people do, they look like they're doing Tai Chi in the morning. They're doing this. They're frozen. I mean, this is like, what is going on here? This is the strange thing. So let me just say something. If you do this right now, if you right now, not somebody who is already addicted, somebody who's in the throes of it, but if you start now, knowing what we're telling you, and you do this and you risk it, you're an asshole. And anything that happens to you is your fault. So I'm warning you. It's like anybody who starts smoking now, anybody who starts doing these drugs. It's one thing when you were saying, well, I was doing drugs. Okay, fine. I know. It doesn't absolve you, but I can kind of understand it. But anybody right now who starts says, hey, that trank looks great. I want to go to Kensington and have open sores. And a lot of folks who are going to have amputations, when they have necrotic, I've got no sympathy for you. None. You don't want to live? Okay. That's freedom. You want to be a libertarian? That's a libertarian. Kill yourself. I'm sorry. I don't know what people need to know. There was a time in the 70s, when Mexico, they were worried about Paraquat. Look at this. Ronnie says, I'm in Philly and Kenzo is a shithole. Don't stop if you have to go through there. FYI, Kenzo is where the original Rocky movie was filmed. I did not know that. Aviva Detox says rat poison is used in the medicine to thin blood. I watched my mother be poisoned with an overdose by her doctor of rat poison. Lizzie Solak with a new, look at that punum, look at that face, look at that, que bella esta neva, bella, que bonita chica. We need 300 likes. What's going on here with you? What's going on with you folks? Ladies and gentlemen, I need the likes desperately. I need 300 likes. This is all they care about. YouTube, somebody will come upon this and say, hey, I like these people. They're interesting. And if anybody listens to me, they'll say, well, is this guy a conservative? Is he a liberal? What is he saying? I'm not anything. I'm telling you right now, if this is what you want to do, you're going to die. Do you hear what I'm saying? I don't care where you go. What they did in Kensington, by the way, it's so, just go on YouTube, look at it. It's incredible. And also these trank tourism, where people go there just to take pictures. Look what it does to the skin. Look what it does to these people. These women are raped and abused. And imagine the hygiene. Imagine the smell. Not only are you going through this, but you've been enclosed for weeks. I mean, just it destroys. And as my mother used to say, remember, all of these people were, innocent, cute babies at one point. They were just somebody's baby. They didn't do anything. They weren't bad. They didn't go out and hurt anybody, but they killed themselves. And you look at me and go, And it's difficult to sit there and say, well, it's hard for them. We have to love them. It's easier said than done, my friends. Easier said than done. And also cigarettes. I think, have you noticed that vaping is on the outs? Come on, folks. I need 300 likes. Come on, my friends. You can do it. You can do it. It's the easiest way of showing respect and love. I think cigarettes are out. So the bottom line is simply this. Look, it's a free country. You can do whatever you want. Nobody's going to stop you, I think, and they shouldn't. Freedom is a terrible thing. Freedom can allow you to kill yourself and destroy yourself. And I don't want to do anything to affect that. It's just like the First Amendment. You've got to be able to say whatever you want. Freedom means you should be able to do whatever you want. There are people who are killing themselves. Liquor does more. Liquor does more than anything you can imagine, and the reason why is because you can sneak by longer. At least with this, you're caught. You can't go to work if you're frozen in the number 7 permanently, and you've got open sores, and you're babbling incoherently. Unless you work at MSDNC, then you'll fit right in. But aside from that, it doesn't work that way. But with booze, you can just fit in perfectly. You can always do some mouthwash. You can always, depending upon how much of an alky you are, there are people who can only survive if they're at least a 0.2. It's incredible. Alcoholism is always lying. Are you drinking? No, I'm not drinking. Are you hiding bottles, hiding the degree of inebriety that one feels? That's one of the things. With this, there's no hiding it. But everybody should be on TV. Fox News, get somebody hopefully who can pronounce English to get on Fox News and to say specifically, ladies and gentlemen, we're not trying to be, the narc here. But if you are getting anywhere near what you believe to be cocaine or any other Oxycontin, you're crazy. Not because we're trying to scare you and do, reefer madness, but there are things being cut with fentanyl, and it's not fentanyl. It is manufactured isomers and lookalikes with a potency that is off the charts. It is that simple. White Monkey says, can't make the show tonight. Have a great one. Hopefully I can attend the summer extravaganza. You got it. You got it, WM. Thank you for this. So, dear friends, thank you. And I want you stay off. Remember, drugs. I'm not lecturing. I'm not lecturing. If you can incorporate alcohol into your life, and if you can do it reasonably, fine. I'm not going to tell anybody anything. When it's a problem. It can be a problem. It doesn't have to be a problem. Cocaine today ain't cocaine. And the stuff that people are smelling, that's skunk, weed, and plus I forgot to tell you, the ingestibles. It hits your system like this. You're just, wow. You are blotto. And it causes its immediate absorption. In the old days, they asked when older people were going through chemo and wanted the availability of THC benefits, the government said, no, we're not going to give you pot. They said, no, but we want to be able to smoke it and stop. They said, no, we want to give you Marinol tablets. And they took it and they were freaking out because you take it and it's assimilated, pow, in one blast. That's not the way to do it. Smoking, even though it's associated with, the 60s and dirty and whatever it is, they still make that connection. The same way people still think of Russia like Boris and Natasha from. But old people were freaking out. I think Maureen Dowd one time wrote how she took an edible and went crazy. We know a woman, this dumbass. She thought, well, they're gummies. No, they're not gummies. I don't know what percentage was. She was bouncing off. She didn't know what hit her. And when you think you are going crazy and you have never been through that before. I remember seeing somebody one time, somebody gave him pot brownies in the 70s. And this poor guy was, because he didn't know it's the locus of, it's what's happening to me. He had never been high before, and it was assimilated through eating. He went berserk. Be careful. This isn't kids' play. It's not child's play. All right, dear friends, thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Please respect yourself. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors on Subscribe. She's got some great stuff. And also follow her on Twitter at Lynn's, LYNNS_Warriors. And I'm at Lionel Media on Twitter, as you can see right there. All right, friends, we'll see you tomorrow morning because I'll be a little bit busy tonight. In any event, have a great and a glorious day. Take care of yourself. Remember, no drugs, no drogas. See you tomorrow. Don't forget these words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da.